Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and everything in between. Welcome to another episode of What's on the Playlist today. So, today I'd like to talk about a band called Scruffy the Cat. The album is Tiny Days, the image of which you will see here because I'm bad at editing. Scruffy the Cat was a band that was around the mid-late 80s. Tiny Days was their debut album. And they were basically a Boston-based band that got their start. Basically, it was before the term alternative rock was coined. They used to be called college bands. They were basically bands that toured up and down wherever they happened to be. They play in bars and stuff, but they got their big hits. Their big draw was that they would play at colleges, and that was pretty much a lot of the alternative music scene. Like I said before, the term was even coined. They were college bands like REM, Scruffy Cat. They were also bands that got played on college radio stations. College radio stations, the DJs can play whatever they want, and they frequently did. Scruffy the Cat, like I said, Tiny Days debut album, was pretty popular. Their single, My Baby, She's All Right, was actually put in heavy rotation on MTV back when MTV still played music back in the 80s. That video won like their breakout new video of the year for 87 or 88, I'm not sure. But if you look them up now, they're classified as indie rock. I'm not sure if I would call them that. I mean, they've definitely an alternative band. They've got a bit of a hard sound, but they've also got a fairly unique sound. It's almost like rockabilly. They've got a slight little country, sound to them, which I found odd because they're a Boston. I think they're a Boston-based band. But yeah, I mean, the album's full of songs that are like really upbeat and high tempo, a lot of energy. I actually used to see these guys perform down at the Tree Cafe on Lower Danforth Street in Portland, Maine, back in the day when I was single, and I would still go to bars and listen to bands and stuff and drink. And these guys packed the house every single time. They're one of the few bands I've seen multiple times, and they're not even a big draw. Every time they were in town, I would go and see them whenever I could, if I wasn't working. I think I only missed like one or two performances when they were in Portland while they were still a band. And like I said, these guys put out a lot of energy, and they would just pack the house and play. So, in case you can't tell, I really like this band. It's rare that I'm going to review a band that I don't like. But the last couple bands I've reviewed, talked about, and what's on the playlist, have been bands that I've been like super pumped about. So I guess that kind of, enthusiasm might show through. The band didn't last very long. They only put out a couple of albums before they broke up. I will say that like the last time I saw them perform at the Tree Cafe, the cracks were showing in the band. I remember like being kind of, on the floor right at the stage. The opening band was playing, and I could see the lead singer, Charlie Chesterfield, was like making notes, and he was unhappy. I could tell he was in a bad mood. And maybe that wasn't the beginning of the cracks. Maybe he was just in a bad mood for the night. But the performance that night wasn't quite as upbeat as it used to be. It wasn't, they weren't quite as tight, that last performance that I saw. So I'm not sure if that was, the beginning of the end or not, but it seemed that way to me, since I found out not too long out. I didn't see them perform. I didn't see them come to town again after that. And like a year or so later, I found out they had broken up. So, correlation is not causation. So, I mean, it might not have been, I might not have been seeing the cracks, but it does seem that way to me. But, while these guys were together, they put out some solid music. There's one song on here that I will say is somewhat questionable. It's called Shadow Boy. It's slightly stalkerish. Um, when I first heard it, you know, to me it was more like a guy who was just too shy to say anything, and that is kind of what the theme of this, you know, the song is. Shadow Boy is like, I'm, you know, I'm one behind that tree, that shadow boy. It's only me. But it's kind of stalkery. It's very stalkery, especially in today's climate. But you know, it's one of those things where you listen to it, and like, yeah, he might be shy, and he might be a stalker. Um, I'll kind of give him the benefit of the doubt and say he's shy and doesn't know he's stalking, but that song is a little bit stalkerish. Um, Still a fun song, still you know, high tempo, good fun song to listen to, but you know, but just as a heads up, just as kind of like a warning, it's like just to let you know, that's the only song really that I can find any objection to, and that's only really, you know, once I actually sat down and thought about the lyrics. If you know, just listen to it, like yeah, fun song, but I'm a little stuffy. Sorry, in case you hadn't noticed, I'm a little nasally congested. But that's all I have to say about that. I would definitely give this band an A. It's definitely it's. I'm not sure if I would consider it in my wheelhouse, since my wheelhouse, the songs that really draw me in, like, are more acoustic and harmony, you know, vocal harmony. Whereas this is not that. It's definitely an alternative band from the '80s. Um, some hard rock and stuff, but light and up tempo too. Um, but something about these guys drew me in. You know, I've got, you know, the 3 full albums that they've put out. There's one that I can't find. It was a compilation of like everything they've written, including a couple of EPs combined in there. But that I think is out of print and impossible to find unless you're really lucky. So I would recommend this band if that sounds interesting to you. Definitely a solid band to listen to. Thank you for watching, as always. If you like my videos, probably seek therapy and then go torture yourself with my other stuff. And until next time, good hunting.